You don't let your brain rest. That's why you're unhappy. Ivan Sechenov on proper rest for the brain. Ivan Mikhailovich Sechenov was a great scientist, psychologist, doctor, biologist, physicist, honorary professor. Sekhenov's life path is inextricably linked with constant learning, self-development, and science. It is not for nothing that he is considered a genius, the creator and father of Russian physiology. The scientist lived for 76 years, of which he gave about 60 years to education. The conclusions of the famous scientist remain relevant centuries later. Ivan Mikhailovich devoted a lot of time to the study of the human brain, and one of the main theses formulated by the famous physiologist concerns the boundlessness of our consciousness. A thought is generated by a reflex in order to prolong it, but apparently there is no end to the thought. Thought is one of the most amazing and unique manifestations of the human mind. It occurs when our brain processes information from the outside world or our inner experiences. Thoughts can be short and instantaneous, or they can evolve and change over time. They can be simple and mundane, and sometimes reach outstanding philosophical heights. If we think, then we exist. It is this endless process that makes us human, opens up the possibilities of our brain, making it work. By giving our brain food for thought, we ensure our mental health. However, Sechenov argued that if we don't give our brain a timely rest, we become deeply unhappy. The brain does not stop working even during sleep. At the same time, the brain works in two modes, passive and active. In the second mode, the brain works during the perception of information, whether it is watching a movie, reading a book, or a simple conversation. The first mode turns on when we sleep, relax, walk in the park, do cleaning, and do not load our brain in any way. Sometimes the passive mode can suddenly turn on in the middle of the working day. This manifests itself in the form of falling out of the surrounding reality. This is a clear sign of overwork. At the same time, the brain is forcibly turned off and asks for rest. To protect yourself from mental exhaustion and keep working in the middle of the working day, breaks are necessary, otherwise it will lead to disappointing consequences. How do I turn on the passive mode of the brain? Physical activity. Any physical activity can be relaxing. Exercise, go for a morning jog, exercise, and try not to think about anything. It doesn't hurt to turn on music to create an atmosphere of peace. It distracts, relaxes, and unloads the brain well. Go to nature. Moreover, it is not necessary to go out of town, to the village, or on a hike. It is enough to go to the nearest park, sit on a bench, listen to the singing of birds, the rustle of leaves, silently contemplate what is happening around. Such walks relax, soothe, and even improve your mood. Do a digital detox. Disconnecting from the information flow, even for one day, will allow you to discharge, regain strength, and just relax. The desire to assimilate a huge amount of knowledge can be compared to running without stopping. Undoubtedly, it is difficult. That is why it is necessary to arrange mental rest. At the same time, it should be understood that it is impossible to load the brain 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you need to do an urgent thing, but you are tired, postpone it. With new strength, you will cope faster, and with fatigue, you will do the work longer, while quality will also suffer. The famous quote by Sechenov, 99 out of 100, our character is built by upbringing and environment. Someone who grew up far from storms, surrounded by love, feels an intuitive need to do good himself. You can put a plaster over the wound. You can anoint the bruise with a healing ointment. And the best medicine for the soul, according to Ivan Mikhailovich, is good deeds. A person gets real moral pleasure from them. By giving a piece of warmth to another person, we get an incredible return. According to SECHENOV, it is people who are prone to kindness and empathy who are full-fledged and mentally healthy. False notions of kindness. Unfortunately, many people are characterized by a misconception about kindness as a manifestation of weakness and stupidity. At the same time, they do not believe that it is possible to be both kind and smart at the same time, as a result of which they are greatly mistaken. There are several erroneous judgments about kindness in society. Some of them claim that it is easy to take advantage of a kind person, that he cannot fight back against manipulators, that he is afraid to say no, agrees with everyone, and does not accept criticism. But this is not the case. In fact, kind people have high empathy and see perfectly well when someone behaves inappropriately. Kindness is a special form of intelligence. Think of the kindest and most selfless people you know. Surely they all have an open mind and a willingness to constantly learn new things. This is what makes them not just flexible. Intelligence and kindness go hand in hand. The kinder a person is, the smarter they are. There is an ancient stereotype that highly intelligent people are selfish, unable to establish an emotional connection with others. However, research has shown that this is not entirely true. There is a direct relationship between intelligence and compassion. Kindness and kindness are responsiveness, kindness to people, and the desire to do good deeds for others. Everything that brings happiness, well-being, and good. We feel kindness from the first minutes of life, which comes from a mother's look, smile, touch, voice, and care. But as a person grows up, he adapts to society, and as a result, kindness is transformed under the influence of external circumstances. There are people who study kindness. They are safe, cozy, comfortable, and they radiate a warm and bright aura, harmony. Others are attracted to such people, feeling that everything will be fine next to them. What does it mean to be kind? The following signs indicate kindness. Good-natured, cheerful, smiling. Kind people almost never lose heart, noticing the positive in everything. Delicacy and natural tact. Sincerely radiating kindness, a person does not allow any insults or ridicule, never devalues the feelings of other people. Kindness is indicated by the willingness to dry a person at any moment and help with advice. Sacrifice one's own interests for the sake of helping another. Kind people value everyone equally, regardless of wealth, age and gender, social status and profession. Such people show kindness sincerely and selflessly, and not for show. Such people are often called simple-minded cranks. Sometimes kindness and responsiveness look childish because they manifest themselves at the behest of the soul. Kindness is a character trait that usually accompanies many moral virtues, such as benevolence, compassion and generosity, tolerance, and so on. Memory is the cornerstone of the human psyche. Returning to the old impressions can be beneficial, or it can ruin. But dreams inspire a person. It is best to dream in darkness and silence. If we indulge in dreams, we allow our brain to fully relax, which is extremely important for feeling happiness, peace, and tranquility. In the modern world, we often forget about the importance of mental rest and rebooting. Endless worries, stresses, and daily chores can overload our brain and body. It is at such moments especially important that Sechenov argued, unlike children, adults cannot fully enjoy the current moment. They are either too preoccupied with the future, or they dive headlong into the past. But if I had decided everything then, if I had done it differently, such thoughts are disastrous for us. Do not forget that negative thoughts have the most negative effect on our physical health. The large and small nerves form the solar plexus. This nerve center is sometimes called the abdominal brain. It affects not only the emotional state of a person, but also the functioning of vital body functions. For example, digestion, breathing. That's why it's so important what we fill ourselves with. If we let our thoughts take their course, then negative emotions will prevail. After all, what worries us the most is what worries us, scares us. We want to protect ourselves, and most people tend to constantly think about the bad and how to avoid it. But what we focus on fills our lives. No one but you can control your thoughts. The slogans culture and morality are those ideas that are supposedly created for the benefit of society. We are taught that we are not perfect, and we are taught how to become good. But if you feel that you are moving in a vicious circle, realize that there are no fundamental changes. Then put stereotypes out of your head. The flow of information leads people away from their own goals, and as a result, people stop dreaming. But to dream a little, to think about a bright future, is something that is necessary for each of us. SECHENOV was convinced that by letting our thoughts go far, far into free flight, we give the brain the opportunity to rest. To worry less about the past and give the brain space for calm reflection. These are the main tips of Ivan Sechenov. Striving for our dreams and goals, we stop burrowing into the problems and disappointments of the past. On the contrary, we begin to see the way to a happy future, and this inspires us to move forward. At the end of this video, we want to say that we appreciate every comment you make. Thanks to you, this channel becomes a place where awareness and motivation flourish. Peace of mind, happiness, and joy to you and your loved ones. See you soon.